Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and I hope you are just having an incredible day. I hope things are going so well for you. I hope that you just, I don't know, I hope that as you look at your day, as you look at your life, you just remember, man, you are so lucky to be alive. You are so lucky to be here now during this time. I know things can be hard. It was really interesting. We always have a team huddle every single morning. You can tell Dental Team was created by someone who worked in a dental practice. And one of our team members said that she was really grateful for trials and challenges. And I just thought what a great mindset that person has to just think of, like, no matter what's going on in life, it's a great day. It's a great possibility. And I think that really ties into what I wanted to podcast about today is living life on purpose rather than on autopilot. And it's something that has been on my mind. It's something that we just did with our in-person event when we met with clients in person, which was super fun. If you weren't a part of it and you want to be a part of something like that, be sure to reach out hello@thedentalteam.com. If you are new to this podcast, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Kiera Dent. I love dentistry so much, and I love helping dentists and teams align to have the best team experience, to have the best overall practice experience, to really help you just flourish and thrive and be living life on purpose. And so today, I'm just really excited. This is something that I've been working on. It's been like a little labor of love because when we were bringing clients in person, I wanted it to be something where it was different. I wanted it to be something where it's not something that they've been privy to a lot. I wanted it to be something where it was getting them out of their norm and working on their life and also working on their business. So the theme of our in-person event was life on purpose and business on purpose. And what I kind of wanted to walk you guys through is just like a little snapshot of what we did in person and kind of like mapping your life on purpose. And I recently have gotten into Joe Dispenza in meditation. If you haven't gotten into that, rock on, welcome. Joe Dispenza has been awesome. I feel like I understand meditation on a level that I never have understood. I went to a 2-day in-person retreat, and I feel like I started to learn a lot about meditation and about how to get rid of depression and anxiety. And he talked about how we have depression when we're focused on the past and we have anxiety when we're focused on the future. And a lot of times our mind tends to live in the known, which is the unconscious mind, rather than living in the conscious, which is the unknown. So known means that we predict what our patient schedule is going to be, what the patients will say, what our day is going to be. We get in our car, we drive home, we're on autopilot. We don't even remember driving home. We wake up, we do the same routine, and to kind of shake ourselves out of that and start to live life on purpose. And so through meditation and also through some life mapping that I kind of wanted to share with you today, to start to live life and to have fulfillment in business and to figure out how can you just be living your life on purpose? So what we found out was like language really, really matters when you build this. And when I started looking at my life, I started realizing, like, when I look at my week, a lot of times my week is just filled with things that I have to do. And I feel like that's, again, living my life on autopilot. So all these things get put upon me. I put them in my schedule. You've got patients, you've got work, you've got kids, you've got soccer, you've got dance, you've got making dinner. And how can we see and add the fulfillment or the sprinkle or the sparkles to our world? And so what we did with our clients is we actually took our lives and we put kind of the categories of our life. And so what are the categories? What are the things that we're working on? What are the pieces that we would be like in a day in, day out? So what I want you to do, I just grabbed a notebook. What I want you to do is I want you to start to look to see, how am I going to actually build this out? How am I going to, what are the categories of my life? Like when I look at my to-do and my week to-do, what is that going to be? And you kind of just like dump it all out. Like, what are those categories? So you've got your health, you've got your work, you've got all these different pieces. And to really just kind of look to see, like, I've got health, I've got business, I've got growth, I've got relationship. Maybe there's some fun sprinkled in there. Maybe there's kids. Home to-dos, what's all on your list. And then looking at that, and then I want you to think about, so you've got your list. So if you want to do this in real time with me, that'd be great. Pause it, build your categories of your life. And then I want you to think about, where are you going to be when you're at the end of your life? So I just want you to like let's go forward. I think of myself in a rocking chair. I plan to have a really, really, really incredible, like I'm terrified of being in a, I don't know, like a rest home. Like it creeps me out because we don't have kids. And I'm like, gosh, like who's going to take care of me? It creeps me out. Okay. So I have planned that I'm going to have the most incredible rest home life. I'm going to build this like villa on the beach. I'm going to have awesome people that are there. I'm going to have like friends that are there. I plan to have like a jazzy or a drone. It's going to be on the water and I can like just jazzy out to my boat, get on the boat, go cruising around. Like I plan to have a jazzy with Nos. Like I really have, like, it's going to be fun. And I'm like thinking like, okay, I'm sitting in like a white rocking chair on my front porch, looking out and reflecting on my life. So whatever your place is, look back and I want you to just kind of think about, what do you want that life to feel like? What are some of the feelings like when you look back? What is the most successful, fulfilled, happy life that you could ever imagine? What does that look like for you? And to really, really think about that end of life. Again, I'm not going to give you an age because I think that's weird. Like, what if you live to like 180? What if you live to 200? What if you like, why are we putting an age on this? But to really think about what you want. And when we did this with our clients, one of the crazy things was that end of life actually didn't have a lot of work. There wasn't a lot of our to-dos, like you just listed those categories. And so then when we look at that, now what I want you to do is, once you've kind of gone through that end of life, looking to see like what I want this to be. I've already told you, like, I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to have friends. I want to have this like sick villa on the beach. Like, I want to have like family around with me. That's what I see. And like just having this life where I've traveled the world and I've made a huge impact in this world for good. Like that's the life where I see Kiera Dent with cotton candy, pink hair, hanging out, but really feeling like I made this huge impact in this world. So then what you do is you go back and you actually look at the categories that you have and like what maybe needs to be added in. For me, I realized philanthropy, like something of impact needed to be added into my world. Also, for me to have this sick villa, wealth had probably better be on my categories of things that aren't, they're on, these things I feel are not put upon you. And this is where I feel like this is living life on purpose. It's not living life anymore on autopilot, but it's living life on purpose. And I was talking to the girl who, I was going to like hair girl, basically. We'll just explain it that way. And we were talking and she's like, I can't wait for my kids. Like they're about to be out of daycare and then I'm going to have all this money. And I was like, yeah. And with that money, you can like put it into Ally and you can get a higher yield savings. And then you could be looking at investments and building up your wealth. And I think us even thinking in those terms, we don't do that on the day in, day out unless we train ourselves to do that. And that's what I mean by living life on purpose and getting excited for life on purpose. And who do you need to be today to have that life when we're looking back on it? So what categories do you maybe need to add into your world? And then this is where it actually became really fun, is to take those categories. Cause like when I look at health and business and growth, like great. And that's kind of like my wheel of life. So, but those things don't inspire me. And so taking those categories and actually adding some juice and some excitement to them. So for example, for me, health, when I look at like working out, oh, hard pass. No, I never want to show up to that category and I'm not excited about it. So what I actually did is I renamed my health category. My health category is actually called honoring my body. And that to me feels so good. I love to work out now because I'm honoring this incredible vessel that I get to be a part of. Like it's me and her for my entire life. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, hey, gorgeous. Like, hey, girl, like you're so strong. Like I'm here to support you. Like if she's not feeling well, I take care of her. I don't push her. Like this is my incredible vessel that I get to have. And for me, working out was not the thing that inspired me, but honoring my body. So it's the same category, but it's honoring my body. Business, like at the time when I was making my categories, you better believe that business was really freaking hard for me. And I was just tired of it. And I never got excited to wake up when I saw business on my schedule. So instead I named it my passion project. And now that is something that is so fun to show up for. Dental team is my passion project. And anytime I'm like, all right, we're going to go plan my week. Like what goes in the passion project? And home, like home to do's. Oh my gosh, I've got to fix this and I've got that and I've got to like do the groceries and I've got to do the laundry. None of that sounds fun. But instead I renamed my house category to creating our love nest. For my relationship, some people just want to put their spouse's name. For me, it's my forever love with Jason. That to me feels so much more exciting to show up to that category of my life. So the way I view my categories are kind of like, I have this like wheel or this box if you want. And like, these are almost like doors or like segments that make up Kiera. And I don't just call it wealth, I call it a wealth genius. Like I want to be a wealth genius. And we have our philanthropy in there that just like, and that's my making an impact bucket. So for that, what the goal is with these categories, you actually start to live life on purpose of things that just get you excited. So when I show up to my life to do board, if you will, it's no longer this just life to do board, but it's actually a life on purpose that gets me excited. So every week, then when you go to plan, I look at my categories and I'm like, all right, what am I doing this week to honor my body? What am I doing this week for my forever love story with Jason? What am I doing this week for Dental Team Passion Project? What am I doing this week to build my love nest? What am I doing this week to build my wealth genius? And not every single week will there be things in there. I have a freaking fun bucket. It's called Add the Sprinkles. That one goes in there all the time. I have a mental health bucket of honoring my mind. So you can just start to have these different categories. And what you do is when you look at your week and you look at things, one, we chunk those like things together. So what can I do together to make more space and more time in my world? But also secondly, let me make sure that I'm well-rounded, because if you were to think of all these categories, once you get them built and once you name them, if you were to have like, let's say a circle and you divided it. So let's say you have 8 categories, you divide this circle into basically like 8 pizza slices. Okay. So that way it's like spokes on a wheel. And if I were to ask you of like, how are you feeling in your honoring your body bucket, like that portion? So you color it in, and like a full pizza triangle would be like 100%, like I am crushing, like bodybuilders and like my personal trainer, she's probably killing it on the honoring her body. For me, I feel like I'm like at a 7 out of 10. So I'd color it into the 7 out of 10. How do I feel like I'm doing on Dental Team Passion Project? I feel like I'm like at an 8 right now on that. How do I feel about my relationship with Jason? So my forever love story with Jason, I'd put that at probably like a 7 right now. How do I feel like I'm doing on my fun and fulfillment? That one for me right now, fun has not been as much in my life. We've been doing a lot more like work things. So my fun right now is probably sitting at like a 5. Still great, still there. What about my wealth genius? Wealth genius, I'd probably put that right now at like 6. So for you, filling in these categories, and some of them when I first started, my wealth genius was like at a 1. My philanthropy is like at a 1. And if you were to imagine again, think of that circle with the pizza slices. Once you filled it in, pretend that's a wheel that would now spin for you. And how bumpy of a ride is that for you? This is where people feel they're out of balance. And this is where people feel they're not living life on purpose, because our categories of work and kids are usually so high. But again, kids don't feel so fun. So what if it was like, I think one of our clients, they wrote, dad of the year. And I thought that was like just so stinking cute. Someone for their money section, I loved this. They said it was like FU money. And I loved that because the intensity behind that, like this person wanted it to be where no matter what happened in life, they were financially secure. And I loved that. And that like, I was like, how do you feel showing up for that category in your life versus how it used to be? And he was like, I'm freaking pumped. And like dad of the year, like how much more exciting is it to go to the soccer games to be the dad of the year or the mom of the year? Or I know Tiffany, she put in there Brody's magical life. And so showing up for things to help create Brody's magical life. And so the goal is that we look to see where is our will maybe a little off kilter, where is it maybe a little bumpy, and then where do we want to show up to our week. So when I start, I go on Sundays and I look at my week and I add in, yes, I've got a bunch of things, but they are now put for colors, and I actually have added colors. So like Dental Team is blue, and my fun is pink, and my forever love story with Jason's like a pinkish red, and our love nest is yellow. So then when I look at my week, I actually start to paint in colors that make me excited. And I don't need to have 5 hours of Jason, 5 hours of work to feel fulfilled. For me, there's different amounts. So for me, just having one date night with Jason, well, no matter what we're doing, we do that on Thursdays. That is me having this like really intentional connection with Jason. For wealth, even if I were to spend like maybe 15 minutes or an hour, maybe listening to a wealth podcast, or maybe like Bigger Pockets, or learning about real estate, or learning about, like rep status, or learning about 401k versus Roth IRAs. There's a lot of things on Instagram that you can follow and then read deeper on it. There's a lot of wealth books. I've read so many wealth books over like the course of my time. I really get obsessive about this because it's fun for me to figure out how to create generational wealth, how to help clients with generational wealth. Like I obsess about this. So adding in maybe 15 minutes or an hour where you look at that. For me, even just adding in like 30 minutes of philanthropy, like what do I want that to look like? What are things that I could get involved in? And what's crazy is when we do this, so we have 24 hours a day and we have 7 days a week, which gives us 168 hours total. Now, this is what's really fun. When I looked at this, I was like, all right, this is freaking wild. Okay. So our work week is 24 hours. We have 24 hours, 7 days a week, which is 168 hours. Now, if I give you, and I'm going to be pretty generous, 8 hours of work times 5 days a week is 40 hours. And then if I have you sleeping 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's 56 hours. Now, I know a lot of you aren't even doing that, so I feel like I'm being extra generous. That's 96 hours. So of our 168 hours that we have in any given week, we take those work and that sleep out. That's 96 hours. You have 72 hours per week available. And my question is, are you living with those 72 hours on purpose? Are you living your work on purpose? You can also do this fun wheel at work. So you can look at like my CEO time, my marketing time, my treatment planning time, my associate doctor time, my dental assistant time. Like we can create categories of our business too and look to see where do we maybe need to sprinkle those in within our 8 hours. So that way our business is on purpose as well. And what's really amazing is when you actually get into this, where you start to live life on purpose, when you start to prioritize living life on purpose and having business on purpose and thinking about where we need to go to have that incredible looking back on our life and just feeling so dreamy and so fulfilled. And I know when we have kids and we have work and we have stresses of finances and we have all these different things, like my team member said, challenges are opportunities for us. When we're looking at that, are we truly living our life on purpose? Are you living your life on purpose? Do you maybe want to change to live your life on purpose? And that's what I get excited about within consulting. And we just hired a new team member and we've had a couple clients join us recently, which love them. And I hope you're our next one to join us. But they said, Kiera, I really love that this company is not about just work. It's about life and it's about being respectful and it's about having a purpose beyond just work. And that was one of the greatest compliments that I have heard from clients and team members, because I feel like if we're not living life on purpose, we're just on autopilot. I don't want to get to my Kiera being whatever age she is and looking back and saying, gosh, like I lived so much of my life on autopilot. I was managing my life. I wasn't creating my life. And so today I'm imploring you and inviting you to start creating your life on purpose. And if this is something that you're like, gosh, I need a lot of help. I need some help. I don't even know where to start. Reach out, hello@thedonellyteam.com. But really, I hope that you just commit to living life on purpose. I hope that you commit to having your business on purpose, that you get out of the unconscious known and get into the conscious unknown, where it's creative, it's playful, it's not stressful, it's magnetizing, it's euphoria, because you're actually living the life of your dreams, not the life that you feel like you are just living day in and day out. And it takes time, it takes daily effort, it takes planning on, and it takes prepping it, right? But I believe anything worth doing is worth doing well. And so I just encourage you to do this. And if we can help in any way, reach out, hello@thedonellyteam.com. If this inspires you, feel free to reach out. You can email us. I'm happy to share some of these tips with you. But really, let's commit to living life on purpose and business on purpose. We get one life to live, and let's make sure it's one that we are dang proud of when we're looking back, reminiscing and knowing that we truly created our life. We didn't just manage it. And with that, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast.